Hi, it's Mr. Crane, and we're going to be doing video support for solar system questions part 2. So we last did um, relative distances, talking about previously we ended on D, which was right here, the distance of the Milky Way galaxy known to be 100,000 light years, and we figured that calculation up. So now we're talking about diameter in relationship to the size of the planets, and then you have to answer the questions based on that. So whenever I make the planet the size of a globe of the representative of this particular lesson, when I say that the globe is going to be used to represent the size of our planet, then we have to find what the rest of the things, objects, are going to be to represent out on our football field. So for instance, Mercury would be like a softball, Venus would be like a basketball, globe would be the Earth globe. We calculated the moon to be about the size of a tennis ball, and so on. And then you have your questions that are go with that. All right. So let's try to go through this real quick, as quickly as I can get them done. All right. So how big is the sun in this model in units of centimeters? So if we look at this data up here, we found that the sun was 1,391,980 kilometers. So if we figured it up to be in millimeters to be 30.92. If I want to know how big it is in centimeters, then I need to 30.92 centimeters. I need to calculate that. Let's get rid of this real quick. I'll get rid of all this. Oops, it's not the eraser. We use 30.92 millimeters, and we want to know how big that is in centimeters. So something a little bigger. So if I take 30.92, 30.92 millimeters, and I want to know how many centimeters that is. Well, centimeters are bigger than millimeters, and if we use our stair step that I taught you on previous videos, where we say King Henry died, that's a terrible D, not bad, died by, that's supposed to be a B, drinking, small d, chocolate, small c, and then milk. So millimeters is right here. And in order to go to centimeters, I must go up. And that's the direction I move my decimal point. So up is going to the left. So I'm going one space there. So that's one step up to the left. So that means I move this over one step to the right. So that would be 3.092 centimeters. Sorry, it's hard to write with my mouse. Centimeters, 3.92 centimeters. All right. So 3.92 centimeters. How much larger is the sun's diameter compared to that of the Earth's? So that's kind of easy to figure out. So if I were looking at the Earth's diameter right here, it's 12,880. What do I need to multiply that by to get to this right here? So if I put another zero, 12,800, this is 1 million. So if I do 12,800, 12,800, if I add another zero here, that gives me 12,800. That gives me 128,000. If I add another zero, 2,800,000, that gives me 1,280,000. So each time I'm multiplying that by 10. So I've already multiplied this by 10. So we'll get rid of that zero real quick. So that was 12,800. That was our original. So that's by 10. And that's by 10. That together is 100. 10 times 10 is 100. So that's 100 times bigger already. And it's still not quite, because if you look over here, our sun is 1,391,980. So we're still not there. So 1,300 and I don't even remember what I said. 391,080, 980, 81, 980. So we're still smaller at 100 times. So you could do another 0, but that's going to put you at 11 or 13 million, and that's too big. So it's in between 100 and 110, but how many exactly? So you need to try to start increasing that to see what you think. Is it one times bigger? Multiply that and then see what you get. You're going to come into some number around the 108, 109. All right. So I don't know if the student got that right over here. Says the sun is larger than the earth by 1,39880, or about 100 times larger compared to the moon's diameter. The earth is larger, about 4 times larger. So this second part says how much larger is the earth's diameter compared with the moon? Well, that's easy to do, because here's the moon, 1347. What do I have to multiply 3 times to get to 12? 3 times what is 12? That should be easy to figure out. 3 times what is 12? You figure that one out. I'm not going to give you that answer. So there's that one. The smallest object that the human eye can see without magnification is 0.1. Given this information, which planets would be visible with the human eye? Now that's 0.1 millimeter. So if we look up here and look at all these millimeters right here, so which one is less than 0.1? So I would see this one, I would see this one, I would see this one, I would see this one. 0.1. This is 0.0. I could not see the moon. I could see Mars. I could see Jupiter. I could see Saturn. I could see Uranus. Could I see Neptune? I could see Neptune. What about Pluto? Pluto's much smaller. You may not have had to do Pluto. It's not on the list, so don't worry about it. But no, you could not, because it's roughly about the size of our moon. Okay? So let's go to the next question. What's your impression? You should be able to figure that one out. Our final set of questions are in regards to this right here, where we had to compare, and we had to come up with a new scale where we got this numbers here, and we were placing this number on our football field. So these are the objects that we would use on our football field. So the questions say, how many times greater is 30 centimeters than 0.284 millimeters? All right, so let's go do that. 0.284 millimeters. So 30 centimeters is the sun. 0.284 millimeters. So 0.284 millimeters. Make sure that wasn't a 0.284. Let's go see. 0.284 millimeters. All right. So how much bigger is that? Well, we just did that right there. We said if we went from millimeters to centimeters, that moves us up one spot. So if I wanted to go to centimeters, I would have to go up one, move that decimal over here. So 0.284 millimeters is equal to 0.0284 centimeters. Okay. Now that's multiplied by 10. So that was 10 times greater. All right. But we still, it said 30. So 30 centimeters. How much greater is 30 centimeters than 0.284 millimeters? Well, 30 is right here. So 30 is on this side of the decimal point. 284. So just to get it to centimeters, we moved it 10 times. Then we have still the ones place, which is another 10, and the tens place. So that's another 10 and another 10. So 10 times 10 times 10 is 1,000. So it's at least 1,000 times greater. Hope that made sense. So it's roughly. Using your answer from 5A, what would the distance between the sun and the Neptune be on this larger scale? Sun to Neptune on this larger scale. So come up with, so we have kilometers. So let's go back to that real quick. So we know that it's 4,500,000,000. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And that's kilometers. All right. And that decimal point is right there. 4,500,000,000. But we're at kilometers, and we want to see how many on centimeters. So we're going to here. So we're going to go down 1 step, 2 step, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps. 5 steps. So I'm going to move my decimal to the right 5 steps. So I'm going to go 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, 5 steps. So I'm basically adding 5 zeros to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and putting my decimal point. So you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 5, and a 4. So that is a lot. 1, 2, 3. That'd be millions. That'd be billions, and that's trillions, and that's centimeters. All right, so that's it. You can do the rest. You can figure out yours. Hope that was helpful. Have a good time.